Hi guys, hello and welcome to another PHP tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be learning how to work with variables in PHP. Unlike other programming languages that you're familiar with, in PHP variables do not have data types that you declare them with. So you simply start using a variable. You use a variable name equals to a value, and that's about it. And based on the value, it automatically figures out what will be the data type of that variable. Variables in PHP are also declared with a $sign. So unlike other languages that you're familiar with that I've taught you in these tutorials, we haven't learned a language where a variable name requires that it must start with a $sign. Here, we will declare a variable in PHP. Let's call this variable age equals to a value 20. So as you can see, that all the variable names are simply declared and are assigned a value. Similarly, I can have another variable called average, and I can assign it a value 45.67. So as you have seen in both of these cases, we have declared two variables of two distinct types. Similarly, we can declare string variables, and I can store somebody's name here. I'll just store my name. Okay. In another tutorial, I will explain you the difference between single quotes and double quotes in PHP. They do make a difference in some situations, but not in all cases. Now let's learn how you can display a value of a variable in PHP. Simply, I can write print followed by the name of a variable, just like that. Okay, and I have to make sure that the statement ends in semicolon. Similarly, I can just go and say I want to print average, and I can say I want to print name. And of course, as we have learned in the past, that we need to have line break for us to be able to break the line when we are printing variables. Otherwise, variables will all be displayed on the same line. And the print line variables is basically allowing you to print the value of a variable because you're not enclosing it in double quotes, but it doesn't really do much, anything more than that. You have to use some HTML to be able to print the values on different lines. So now let's first try to run this much, and then I'm going to add that code to you, and you will see one more cool feature of PHP. So let's run this code, working with variables, run as on server. And here you can see all values are printed on the same line, 20, 45.67, and Sad Yusuf. In PHP, one of the cool things I just want to show you is that if I enclose a variable in double quotes, in other languages, as soon as you enclose anything in double quotes or single quotes, it will automatically assume that it is not a variable. Rather, it's a text that must go on screen as it is. But notice in PHP, it doesn't do that. And that's one of the benefits of declaring variables with a $sign, because the $sign is an indicator it's a variable. Even if you put in double quotes, it will automatically treat it as variables. So if I want to break row, I can simply do something like this. So each variable's value will be printed and a new line will be generated. Similarly, I can enclose some kind of a string message right before a variable. So by doing this, PHP has completely avoided the concatenation operator that you're familiar with. So we usually use concatenation operators that allow us to concatenate things that are different in nature. But in PHP, since it takes this approach, it can simply avoid concatenation operators. So after making these changes, let's refresh our output, and here you go. Voila. So I've enclosed the age in bold just to show you that how it affects. So we're going to now refresh the output, and here you go. So word age automatically appears in bold. So these are some of the things that I want to bring to you in this tutorial, and we will continue to work with more such little things which you will notice PHP does slightly differently than some of the other leading languages that you have learned in the past. Catch you in the next tutorial.